happens.
City News.
.3 Citi FM. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafe, and tonight I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafe Akente.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
It's been a difficult 7 years.
Relief at last as appeals court orders restoration of operating license of GN Savings and Loans 7 years after it was revoked. Tonight, we hear from Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum, who says the company is coming out big. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
Parliament is working with government to ensure justice is done in this matter. I will in due course keep the House updated with developments in the matter.
Arrest and detention of Asante Achim North MP dominate discussion on the first day of resumption of Parliament after the Easter break. And later,
we are going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, the New Patriotic Party will file a petition against the Circuit Court 9 for misconduct. The judge for Circuit Court 9 for misconduct.
New Patriotic Party MPP to petition Chief Justice to remove judge presiding over the Abronye case. The party says the judge has misconducted himself. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Also coming up in business.
Over 300 companies face dissolution as Office of the Registrar of Companies tightens compliance enforcement.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country. Around the globe, we are on citynewsroom.com. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. The number to send to is 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. Let's go for our first story.
The Court of Appeal has ordered the Bank of Ghana to restore the license of GN Savings and Loans, overturning an earlier High Court ruling that upheld the revocation of the financial institution's operating license in 2019. The three-member panel further directed that all assets of the bank be returned to its original owners and ordered the receiver to hand over management of the company to its previous management team. Reacting to the developments, the global president of the group, Ndum, Papa Kwesi Ndum, said the team will follow through to ensure the implementation of the ruling.
Well, so the court of appeal said the decision that the Bank of Ghana license is wrong. So we ordered the bank to list its license. The receiver is now in charge of the bank and all its assets. The receiver also has ordered hand over all the assets. And the management also. Then, so we will take the lead to the necessary. It's been a difficult, very difficult 7 years. We want to thank family. We want to thank all of our employees. We've had some very loyal, hardworking employees who have stood with us all these years. And definitely, we did thanks to Almighty for us healthy enough.
Apologize for the quality of that inset, but that was Papa Kwesi Ndum, the global president of Group Ndum.
Let's speak to Group Ndum, and Vice President Nana Ofori Owusu joins us on the phone for more on this. Nana, good evening. Thank you very much for your time now. Happiness will be the best description of the situation, I guess.
That's an understatement. We are beside ourselves. We are going gaga here. But when you fight a fight that is a righteous fight, you feel that the revelation of God in you has been manifested. So we believe that this is a beautiful opportunity for Ghana, for the financial sector, and the redemption of Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum, Mrs. Yvonne Ndum, and Group Ndum as a whole. If you recall, from day one, Citi FM has followed keenly. I have been with you, and I have always maintained that there is absolutely no reason to have done what was done in the revocation of our license, because as a savings and loans company, we met all the requirements and were in full compliance. We are happy that the appeals court have listened to us and have agreed with us, and they have set aside the judgment of the High Court in revocation of the license for GM Bank Savings and Loans. So today is a fantastic day for Group Indum, all its employees, its shareholders, and everybody. And you know, the reputational damage that was occasioned as a result of the decision of BOG cannot be quantified. But God as it is, good as it is, we believe that this is the beginning of the building blocks of GN Bank Savings and Loans.
What processes are you expected to go through before you begin operations again? Because I know that will be the ultimate aim. Because,
yes. According to our lawyers, there are some processes. First, we need to file for the judgment itself. After filing for the judgment itself, based on that judgment, they'll be able to write letters to the respected agencies for them to be able to conform with the directives of the court. And then after that, we need to sit down and have discussions with these agencies in making sure that we are all on the same page and moving forward. So the process is ahead of us. But what is important is that the court has given its ruling and its direction and its order. So the rest is more procedural in terms of the legal processes to be able to attain and start operation. So already we are in full readiness to operate tomorrow. We are ready to operate tomorrow, but we also understand that there's a process that we must undergo. And if we have been patient for 7 long years in the wilderness, that we've been able to lose so much and listen to all the comments, negative comments and all of those things, and we have survived to this level, we believe that we'll be able to wait a little bit more to make sure that the GN Bank Savings and Loans is back in operation.
It's been 7 long years and a lot has changed. What is the expectation now that the court has ordered that you get your license back?
The expectation is that we created GN Bank. We did the work, a homegrown solution to a homegrown problem. All the people who work at Group Indum they look like you and I. We are Ghanaians. We believe in Nkrumah's vision of black man is capable for doing for self. We also believe that in order for Ghana to move from its Goggesberg economy to a next economy that we are able to flourish, Ghanaians must take control of the various sectors within the economy. So the financial sector is one. We have mining sector, you have telecommunications, you have energy, you have oil. All these sectors, we believe in order for Ghana to be able to prosper and move forward, must be owned and led by Ghanaians. Because that allows the funding, the money to stay and circulate within our system. And we are able to create jobs and employment for the teeming youths who are coming out of school looking for an opportunity to ply their trade. So we believe that we were contributing to the financial, economic independence of Ghana. And this is what we believe, that even though there has been a temporary setback, we are ready, we are reset, we are ready to move at an alarming speed because we created it. It is from our mind, it is from our spirit. So we are able to make sure that the GN Savings and Loans Part 2 coming up will be more robust, will be far-reaching, and will make sure that we become impactful in the Ghanaian economy and making sure that we're able to reduce the teeming unemployment situation that exists in our country. So we just want our original position to contribute meaningfully to the development of this beautiful country. And we only have one Ghana. We don't have any other country to go to. And that is why we were resilient in able to make sure that, no, we must correct the wrong that has been done, and we must stay resolute to make sure that we are able to put the truth out there. Because we always said that when you put the facts out there It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. And we thank God for that our shareholders, Dr. Enu and Mrs. Ivonidum, to be able to have the resilience, the resolve, to muster the courage, to be able. We took government to court. We are the ones who took BOG to court. We took government to court that to say that what you have done is an atrocity of justice. And this is the looking at the gravity of the gravitas of the situation. We've been able to go to court, make our case, and the court has listened. They have listened, opened their ears, and been attentive to the facts thereof of the case, and they have drawn the conclusion. Appeal court, a 3-member unanimous decision that no, the license must be restored, assets must be restored, and all the processes, therefore, we must follow to make sure that this become a reality, make sure that we have the impact on Ghana that we are looking for this country.
Revamping the savings alone, which is GN savings alone, will require a lot of capital. You have the financial muscle to revamp it, to make it look like it used to be. You have those resources or that resources?
They when they came in, we had a loan portfolio that was there, that were huge amounts. We have assets, infrastructure that were there that are also huge amounts. Those discussions, when we have them and we are able to come to an understanding that the money is already there. Didn't we tell you that the money is already there and that they need to give time to be able for us to do it? If you have a government or a governor who announces to Ghana that a bank is going under and everybody rushes to go and take their money at that moment, which institution do you know of this world that people make deposits that if all of them rush the institution, they'll be able to get the funding? It's not possible. So that is why when the facts were made there and we are able to prove our case to a 3-member panel, it was clear. Stevie Wonder could see what we were talking about. And that is why we have the verdict that we have. The ruling that we have received is a ruling that is based on facts. The facticities of the case can only point you to a direction that, no, you must restore the license of GM Bank Savings and Loans for them to continue the service that they were rendering to mother Ghana, to their depositors, and to be able to play our role and our quota in the development of this great nation. We are Ghanaians. We are for Ghanaians. And the work that we do is to impact meaningfully. When we are dead, long and gone, people will remember and they will be feeling the impact of a legacy that has been left behind to help alleviate the challenges that plague us as the people. So this thing, we just don't see a group in doom win. You want foreign direct investment. It shows that we have rule of law in the country. And that if you have the desire, you have the tenacity to fight for a righteous cause, eventually you will get the right ruling. And this will encourage more entrepreneurs to invest in the local economy and to be able to move forward. So we are for the Ghanaian businessman who dares to make a difference and who tries to put forward a developmental agenda that is good for the entire of Ghana.
Nana, the court also ordered the receiver to hand over possession, management, and control of assets and other activities to stakeholders of the company. Talking about the assets, I am reliably informed that some of them were sold in the process. Is that what you know?
So, the ruling of the court, what that means that we need to sit. We need to sit with the relative, the receiver. We need to take suspicion and get real, actual reports. Then we need to react to those reports and we need to make decisions and to move forward. So yes, we have heard of sales of this and that, but that is not the issue. The court has asked them to restore it. So we need to sit and discuss if they have sold, where is the money? Is the money of value in terms of the equity in the things that they took at the time that they took it? And then we need to speak about all those things and come to an agreement and move on. You understand? So we need to be able to sit at the table per the court directives. We need to be able to have reports, access to reports, and those will be the ones that we'll be able to sit and speak to. So in the coming week or two, we are going to have a press conference. And in that press conference, then we'll be able to highlight exactly what is there, what is not there, what is the way forward, and give more facts to the people for them to be able to understand what is happening.
Nana, thank you very much for your time. Nana Ofori,
I am grateful that the Citi, one of the most powerful radio stations in Ghana, has given me this opportunity.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nana Ofori Wuso is the Vice President of Group Indu. Let's go on to the other line and speak to Toma Amia. He's a financial analyst to get his views and perspective on this matter. Toma, thank you very much for your time. With this ruling, what really does it mean to Group Indum and its stakeholders?
The situation is still very unclear. Now, they've got their license back. But you remember the UniCredit also got their license back some years back. And what came of it? You see, getting your license back is one thing. Being able to resume business is another thing entirely. First of all, you have to now get sufficient share capital to be in business. You need to regain the confidence of depositors. You have to get your staff back. These are all very high hurdles that GM savings and loans will have to overcome. So personally, I really have my doubts, especially the issue when it comes to the issue of depositors' confidence. So let me ask you, would you go and put your deposits with GM savings and loans right now? After all that happened since 2019, I'm sure you will think twice, even though the law has cleared of any wrongdoing per se. Trust is a matter of perception. And the perception right now, the damage has been done already. So, the law has taken its course. I'll have my comments on that, but probably the law has taken its course. We have taken its course, but I suspect that it's a case of too little, too late.
In terms of investor confidence, as you mentioned, you believe it would take a while for people to realize that Group Indum is back, the savings and loan company is back, and may want to do business with them. But what if they begin an aggressive campaign, branding, marketing? You think it will not bring back the customers it used to have?
Look, they can do an aggressive campaign. I have no doubt about that. They're very experienced in the financial service industry. But no matter how aggressive the campaign is, perceptions are always perceptions. If you had to choose between putting your money in GCB Bank and GIN Savings and Loans, which one would you choose? You understand what I'm saying? That is where I foresee the problem. Look, the bank, if it can raise the money to get back in business, the bank will be as solid as any other, even the commercial banks. But is that how the depositors will perceive it to be? Basically, what will be required will be for GM savings and loans to offer a premium on the deposit rates in order to attract people. And that in itself is risky financially. It does the long-term viability of the institution. So it's going to be very difficult.
Toma, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Toma Amihe is a financial analyst speaking to others. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a break. When we come back, arrest and detention of Asante Achim North MP dominates discussion of the first day of resumption of Parliament after the Easter break.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said, "It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all." Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Looking for engineering excellence you can trust?
Welcome to Left Signature Limited, driving progress through technology and engineering excellence.
From expert electrical engineering design, installation, power systems, renewable energy, automation and control,
to reliable data center and managed services, power infrastructure, network connectivity, server virtualization, cloud integration and data security,
and cutting-edge software development, custom business applications, web and mobile apps, cloud and DevOps solutions.
Integrity, safety, accountability, teamwork. That's the Left Signature promise.
And now, introducing the Left Power app.
Request for our services anytime, anywhere. Available on the Play Store, App Store, and on the web.
Ready to power your success?
Choose Left Signature Limited. Visit www.leftsignature.com.
Call +233 256 111 811.
Left Signature Limited. Engineering excellence for a connected future.
It's a goal! The World Cup football fever is here, and Electroland Ghana Limited is bringing the excitement of the stadium right into your home with unbeatable soccer promotion. Experience every goal and celebration in clarity, just like you're live at the stadium with discounts on Samsung, TCL, and NASCO Smart TVs. Make every match day perfect for your football watch parties with powerful air conditioners and air coolers, top and bottom mount chest and display fridges, gas cooker, washing machines, microwaves, small kitchen appliances, and more. This is the biggest football promo of the year. Rush to our showrooms and authorized dealer shops or call 050-315-9739. Electroland, bringing the stadium home.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country, and we are live on citinewsroom.com. You can join the conversation on the WhatsApp number 0539-986-996, 0539-986-996. Across the Ghana, we are also live on.
In the Western region, we're live on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, Sky as well, 93.5 FM on Takra. And in the Bono region, tune into Greener, 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Afle region, it's Hammers Radio, 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, tune into Orange, 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're live on Akwini Radio, 96.7 FM in Pando, and Heritage, 107.3 FM in Hohoi. In the northern region, it's Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the upper east region, tune in to Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu and Boga, 102.7 FM in Bogatanga. In the upper west, tune in to Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura, and in the northeast, we're live on Eagle 94.1 FM in Waliwali. Now to some other stories. The minority in Parliament is imploring government to attach more seriousness to the diplomatic crisis involving Achim North MP Nana Kwame Frimpong, who is currently being detained in the Netherlands. The independent member of Parliament was reportedly arrested at Schiphol Airport on May 8 over allegations linked to romance scams and money laundering. Addressing Parliament at the start of the second meeting of the second session, Minority Leader Alexander Penyomark described the development as one with reputational consequences for the country. Here is Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Pieje addressing Parliament on behalf of the Minority Leader.
Days before we reconvene, our colleague, the Honourable Member for Asante Achim North, was detained at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam in connection with allegations of financial crimes involving International Investigative Corporation. Parliament confirmed the incident on May 12 through a statement from the Clerk of Parliament. We understand that the government, Parliament, and our mission in The Hague are engaged in securing legal representation and consular support. We acknowledge those steps, but they are not sufficient. This arrest has inflicted deeply damaging blow to Ghana's international reputation. Our country's name has been dragged through European headlines in a manner that reflects poorly on this Parliament and this nation. The government must respond to this as what it is, a crisis with serious reputational consequences for Ghana. We call on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Speaker's Office to intensify engagement, deploy a senior diplomatic presence, brief this House regularly, and issue a formal statement.
You heard Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Appiaje. Meanwhile, Speaker Alban Babin has assured that Parliament is working with government to ensure the embattled Asante Achim MP gets the assistance he deserves.
It's regrettable that one of the members of this House is alleged to be on the wrong side of the law. We've already been given the details. What I can add is that Parliament is working with government to ensure justice is done in this matter. I will in due course keep the House updated with developments in the matter. Meanwhile, permit me on your behalf to convey the empathy of the House to members of his family and his constituents for this unfortunate development, and to call on them to exercise restraint, for we are with them and we are doing everything to make sure that he is accorded all the due respect, dignity, and the opportunities available to all of us in international law. So please keep your cool and leave those who are involved. I'm happy that voluminous information has been given you as to the steps that have been taken by the Minister of Foreign Affairs together with our mission in Holland.
You heard Speaker Alban Babin. Away from that, the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronya DC, has been granted bail by the High Court in Accra after being remanded over charges of false publication. The court granted him bail of 100,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties after prosecutors said they did not oppose the application. As part of the conditions, Abronya DC must report to the police CID every 2 weeks, surrender his travel documents and seek permission before traveling outside the country. Speaking to the media, the NPP General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodja says they will petition the Chief Justice over what it describes as misconduct by the Circuit Court judge handling the case.
We are happy that his justice has been served, and we have been very consistent from day one that this is a case of misdemeanor, which a bill should not have been an issue at all at the Circuit Court. But as the trial judge at the Circuit Court did, which we had to come back to the High Court. Indeed, we find the conduct of the trial judge as unacceptable, in some extent a misconduct. And it's not something that we are going to just let go. We are filing a petition to the Chief Justice for Justice Num to be removed from the case of the Republic versus Abronya, because we believe that he has taken stand in the case and he cannot be a judge in his own case, and therefore justice will be well served when the case is given to a different judge to look into the matter.
You heard NPP General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodria.
Let's get more on this particular issue and speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the party, Haruna Mohammed. Haruna, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. I thought the NPP is a political party that believes in the rule of law and believes in the court system. Is it that when you don't like a judge, you will just petition for the Chief Justice to remove that judge because things didn't go the way you wanted it to go?
Sammy, I would like to say good evening to your cherished listeners and your followers over your social media. That is not the principle. If you look at the legal process in this country, where a judge openly expressed bias, or where a judge gives a ruling that does not truly represent a matter in the case, and per your feeling as an individual or citizen, you have the right to petition the Chief Justice for the person to be recused from that particular case that is before the person. And in these particular circumstances, the matter that is before the judge is about a comment that is made by the Bono original chairman. And that particular comment before the judge has not been ascertained whether he actually made that comment. And if indeed he made the comment, whether the comment was so injurious to be criminalized or even to be considered as a matter that is a crime. So in this particular case, it is alleged and he remains to be a suspect. But the judge proceeded to make a categorical statement in refusing bail for Abonye, said clearly that if Abonye is being given bail, he will go and make the same or similar comment, meaning that he has already concluded the matter that Abonye has committed a crime, and that matter has become a crime. So such a judge should not be given space to sit down to look at a matter where the judge has taken side in it. We need the process to be very free. We need somebody who has an open mind, a person that will be able to express his or her discretion as a judge on this matter without putting in certain other emotions into it or the person's biases into it. And that is why we are...
How sure are you? Can you hear me, Haruna?
To address this particular...
Okay, how sure are you that the new judge who will take over this case will not, behave like this judge that you seek to get him out of this case?
There is no limitation to petition. So if the judge who is coming is also behaving in similar manner, the judge will also be petitioned against. We need somebody that is fair. And today, when we went to the court, from yesterday, the judge who handled the matter shows very maturity in it, clearly indicated that she wanted to dispense justice on this matter. And that is why Abonye has been granted bail when we went to the High Court. So there are judges who have high reputation who will be able to handle that. And if any other judge is brought and the judge does not express the discretion properly and does that arbitrarily, then we would be able to petition against the person. And I believe that we can get an impartial judge who can sit on this particular matter.
Is it your view that the judiciary is against the MPP?
I hear you.
I'm asking that, is it your view that the judiciary is against the New Patriotic Party?
Some members of the judiciary are being used against the party. There are very respected people among the judiciary, not all of them. Some people are being used, and some of them are denting their credibility in the legal profession. And I'll give clear example of the judge, the High Court judge in Northeast region, who used the animal kingdom, the animal farm, who used Idi Amin and cited that in that particular ruling. And I can clearly say that it's very unfortunate. Some of them are being used, and then they fall to it, and it affects their credibility.
But Haruna, is it not surprising that not too long ago, some few years ago, the MPP praised the judiciary for the good job they are doing all over the place? Why all of a sudden you believe that some members of the judiciary S or I against the MPP?
We never praise the judiciary entirety. We praise certain judgments and the position of the judges based on the matter of law.
Even though it's a judgment, or the judge, it is part of the judiciary.
I just praise a judge in this conversation, I praised a judge who dispensed justice at the High Court. That is the General Division Court 2. I just praised a judge in our conversation whilst in opposition. So it is something that we do, and we do it based on the fact of law, not because of our emotion. There is processes in every legal process, and if somebody uses a discretion arbitrary, and we think that the person is biased, then we are at the liberty to apply or make a petition to the Chief Justice, and there's no limitation to petitions. So if they bring 100 of them and they behave to be
Hello, Haruna. Hello, Haruna. I'm afraid we lost Haruna Mohammed on the telephone line. He's the Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations for the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. The number to send to is 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. Let's do some of your WhatsApp messages. Anna Funko says, Sami, if it is correct that the Court of Appeal has ordered the restoration of the license of GN Savings and Loan, then what legal basis justified the revocation of the license by Ken Ofori-Atta and the then governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison? They are required to provide clear justification for that decision. Hamdan from Tamalino says the restoration of GN Bank license is a victory for both Papa Kwesi Ndum and the nation. The bank had collapsed due to sickness under the NPP government in order to achieve their interests. But thanks be to God, John Mahama has brought it back. Abi National Inwa said, which CJ is the NPP going to send their petition to? Is it the same CJ who is head of the judiciary who they don't recognize? Interesting time. Akosori Joseph says, life has a way of turning things around. Never look down on anyone. John Mahama, who Papa Kwesi Ndum heavily campaigned against in the 2016 election, is now restoring his legacy. Ghanaians indeed voted for the right government to reset this country. We, the people of Ayarefa, says, congratulations to Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum and the GN group. I am very happy all the stakeholders of the group and their family members. John Labini from Mio says, thanks to the government of John Mahama for the restoration of GN Bank. At least most of the youth in the rural areas will gain employment again, and this will go a long way to reduce unemployment and poverty in the country. Daniel from Sandema says, the restoration of GN Bank is a major victory against the politically vindictive NPP administration. This development rekindles hope for many ordinary Ghanaians whose businesses and livelihoods were affected. Indeed, John Mahama is the hope. Jones Adoboy in last year's good evening, Samuel. Congratulations to Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum. This clearly shows that it was political victimization by the Akufo-Addo administration, which caused thousands of breadwinners to lose their jobs. Abba and Papa Abba. Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. More stories.
Lawyer for the family of the late Charles Emisa, Emmanuel Dakwa, says the decision to sue persons involved in the death of the 29-year-old is aimed at driving reforms and improvements in emergency healthcare delivery in Ghana. Speaking to Citi News, Emmanuel Dakwa explained how the family is demanding 20 million Ghana cedis in damages as a deterrent to ensure health facilities and professionals do not condone medical negligence.
What is money? You may get the 20 million today and tomorrow you are dead. But I think that there needs to be some reform. This should be a deterrent to other professionals. Okay, so that, I mean, it can happen to you. You go to the hospital and then they tell you, and I hear there was a 70-year-old person who 2019, you know, I read through the reports, and that was when I think the ministry issued the
Nobel syndrome report.
Nobel syndrome report came up, you see. And then still, but you see, after that, what happened to the people who were involved? Nothing. So assuming we go to court and we are successful, and we hear that 20 million, damages was hit against the professionals. If I'm a professional, I'll sit up You know, so it is not. Yeah, it is sad. I mean, the family has lost, and I told them. I mean, it's not about the money. They say because people have been asking for more. 20 million is. Well, I mean, this is small. You should have asked for more. No, I mean.
The lawyer Emmanuel Dakwa also decried the unprofessional conduct of officials at Kolebu who allegedly dumped the body of Charles Emisa at the morgue without following proper protocols, leading to its decomposition.
Accident occurred, and the person died. The Charles Emisa, late, died at Kolebu Hospital. They dumped the body, well, according to them, the mortuary. And when the plaintiff and his family were informed by the police that they had found an accident victim, they went to Kolebu, the mortuary, and they found the brother, the relative, in the corridors of the mortuary, not in the cold room. And the body was maggot infested. Can you imagine? The guy was decomposing. He was decomposing. So do you realize? I went to the funeral. The casket was not opened. I mean, nobody saw the body. Because it was decomposed. I mean, you don't look after the person dies and you just go and dump the person. And let me just say this, I hear, I mean, it is hearsay that, these Okada riders, when they get accidents and they go there, they just throw them somewhere. But that is wrong.
Emmanuel Dakwa is the lawyer for the family of late Charles Emisa.
This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Sunny Gold Brown Sugar, available in a shop near you.
Sunny Gold.
Wakashi. This advert is FDA approved.
Your attention, please. Flight C8 has been delayed.
Again. Madam, can you please point me to the water fountain? And please watch my back and phone whilst I'm gone.
You can be a traveler with infinite worries.
Hello, Mr. Anand. Your lounge access is ready and your seat is warm.
Or you can be a traveler with infinite privileges.
Champagne, sir?
The region or the drink.
Choose EcoBank's infinite privileges with an EcoBank Visa Infinite card. Access airport lounges worldwide, fast-track services, best-in-class daily limits, and enjoy other exclusive travel and lifestyle benefits. Infinite privileges await. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. The number to send to is 0539-986-996, 0539-986-996. Let's go to VRA now, because the senior staff group of the Volta River Authority and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company have once again rejected a proposal from government to introduce a private sector involvement in the distribution of power in the Northern Territory. Now, they said the engagement or the arrangement will transfer complete operational control to a private entity, which they believe will not serve the country well. William Asari is the chairman of the Senior Staff Association of NEDCo. He joins us on the telephone line for more. Really, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. What opposition again do you have on this matter? Because I know very well that the energy minister in government has assured several times that this is not complete privatization, but it's just an involvement of the private sector. What's your fear again?
Okay, thank you, Samuel. Good evening, and good evening to your listeners. So, like you indicated, that is what we have heard publicly from His Excellency the President. But if you get the guiding framework document, which was submitted by the technical committee to the Minister of Energy, and you read the document,
you realize that the document is contrary to what the president is telling the Ghanaian public publicly. The president, at the last meeting with PUC and Labour, indicated that, ECG workers and NEDCo workers will be involved in transformer maintenance, they will do the transformer thing, and then the private sector is just for billing and collection. That is contrary to the document that the PSP Secretariat is implementing. And for the avoidance of doubt, let me state that if you read the document says that the PSP will take over our operations from the bulk supply point. The bulk supply point is where our work begins at NEDCo. So if the PSP is taking over from there and is responsible for all our operations, technical operations, commercial operations, then it is not participation. It is complete takeover of our operations. The question that we should be asking the government is that what will be the work of NEDCo staff? If you read the document says that NEDCo will just remain asset owners. And what will be the work of an asset owner? You own the asset, it ends there. The private sector is responsible for all our operations. And so let me state that if you read the document, they have blown NEDCo operations into 5 regions. Bono East, Upper East, Upper West, and Northern. If you take all our regional operations, we are meeting the regulatory benchmark. PLC says that we should do a distribution loss of 21%. Go to Sunyani, go to Techiman, go to Upper West. We are meeting those benchmarks, except Northern, except Tamale, where our losses used to be 45, and we have worked so hard to bring it down to 37. And Sunny, performance improvement is gradual. It's not one-off. We have demonstrated that we are capable of bringing down the losses. And it's particularly in Tamale, and we all know, you recall that in previous times, we have highlighted the pervasive power theft in Tamale metropolis. But we are working with stakeholders to bring it down. If you take Upper West region, our operations in Upper West, we are collecting more than 100% of the revenue. So what is the justification, for example, in saying you are zoning Upper West and giving it to a private sector? What is the justification? Somebody should tell us. If you take Sunyani area, our distribution loss is 19%. Far below the PRC distribution loss target of 21%. Sunyani in last year did a revenue collection of 97%. What is the justification in saying you are giving Sunyani operations to a private sector? Somebody should tell us. If you read the document is talking about a number of factors. Look, Sammy, in NEDCo operations, nearly 40% of our customers are lifeline customers. These customers, what they pay, the rate that they pay, it is not able to pay for the power purchase. It is not able to pay for the power being transmitted. Not to talk of operations. And if you take our coverage operations, majority of our operations are in rural northern Ghana, where they are vast, the cost of operations is high, and the revenue returns is very low. We recognize that electricity is a national security issue. Otherwise, government extends power to very rural areas where if it is a private man, the rate of return, you operate in that place. But electricity is a social service, it's a national security issue. We extend power to rural areas where their bill revenue, the bill revenue of that community, cannot even pay for the cost of a transformer fuse. So you should look at it from that angle. Why is the intent to say that let's give it to private person, the private man will be efficient? I'm telling you that look at the data of NEDCo. We are collecting revenue of more than 100% in Upper West. The distribution loss in Upper West is around the PLC target. So why do you zone it and say, I want to give Upper West to a private person?
As Willie, you believe that the job that the private sector is coming to do, you're already doing them, right?
Exactly. And we are meeting the regulatory benchmark. The target is given to us by the regulator. We are meeting it. So somebody should tell us why, for example, you want to give BA Sunyani to a private person to run. When they are making losses of below 19%, they are collecting 98% of the revenue, which are the key targets set by TRC.
Mr. Asari, thank you very much for your time. William Asari is chairperson or chairman of the Senior Staff Association of NEDCo, rejecting the decision of government to get private sector involvement in the revenue collection and distribution of ECG and NEDCo. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. It's now time for Citi Business News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Biafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. The Office of the Registrar of Companies, ORC, has initiated moves to strike off 318 companies from Ghana's companies register as part of efforts to tighten corporate compliance and improve the integrity of the country's business records. In a statement dated May 19, 2026, the ORC said the action is being taken pursuant to Section 2893 of the Companies Act 2019. According to the registrar, the affected entities were listed in Volume 40 of the ORC Companies Bulletin published on May 15, 2026 and will be removed from the register within 3 months unless sufficient cause is shown against the action. The ORC noted that once the process is completed, the companies involved will stand dissolved. Away from that, the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Avle, has rejected allegations that some officials of the cocoa regulator are involved in private cocoa purchasing activities. According to him, cocoa purchases in Ghana are conducted strictly through licensed buying companies which operate through approved district agents. In an interview with Citi Business News, he explained that these companies buy beans on behalf of Cocoa Board under an established regulator.
Those who buy cocoa are the agents of the licensed buying companies. Officials of Cocoa Board will not buy cocoa. The Cocoa Board licenses licensed buying companies who have their agents at the districts who buy the cocoa on their behalf. And the licensed buying companies are buying this cocoa on behalf of Cocoa Board. So how can anybody say that an official of Cocoa Board is out there? It's born out of ignorance.
Dr. Randy Avle is the CEO of Ghana Cocoa Board. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has underscored the growing importance of regional integration in financial markets, describing it as a necessity for emerging economies seeking to remain competitive in the decade ahead. According to him, financial integration across Africa is an essential component of building resilient and competitive markets. Delivering the keynote at the ACI World Congress in Accra, Dr. Esiama explained that Ghana is collaborating with regional partners on fintech passporting arrangements, harmonized payment systems, and broader efforts to establish a more interconnected African financial market.
Markets that are not connected will not compete. Capital does not respect borders, but regulation does. The countries that recognize this are building integration into the design of their financial systems rather than retrofitting it after the fact. We are working with our partners across the region on licensed passporting initiatives for fintechs, on harmonized payment rails, and on the broader vision of a connected African financial market. A fintech licensed in one African jurisdiction should be able to serve a customer in another without rebuilding its compliance stack from scratch. A payment that is initiated in Accra should clear in Abidjan or in Lagos just as easily as it clears in Kumasi here in Ghana. This is not regional aspiration. It is the design logic of competitive emerging markets in the decade that is ahead.
You heard Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Away from that, Ghana's gold reserves recorded a month-on-month improvement in April 2026, offering some relief to earlier concerns over depletion pressures, even though the stock remains lower on a year-on-year basis. According to the Bank of Ghana's latest summary of macroeconomic and financial data, gold holdings stood at 22.3 tons in the first 4 months of 2026, down from 31.4 tons in the same period last year. Here is more.
The drop had initially fueled concerns about potential depletion pressures on the country's external buffers, particularly at a time of heightened focus on reserve adequacy and macroeconomic stability. However, the 22.3 tons recorded in April 2026 is an improvement from the 20.8 tons recorded in March 2026. Despite the annual decline in physical holdings, Ghana's external sector remained broadly resilient, underpinned by strong commodity exports. Gold exports alone generated about $6.86 billion over the review period, maintaining their dominance as the country's single largest foreign exchange earner and reinforcing Ghana's position among Africa's leading bullion exporters. Total exports stood at $11.15 billion, significantly outpacing imports of $5.87 billion, resulting in a trade surplus of $5.28 billion for the period. The surplus reflects sustained strength in Ghana's commodity-driven export base, with gold, cocoa, and oil all contributing meaningfully. Cocoa exports brought in $1.86 billion, while oil exports added $1.28 billion, helping to cushion the impact of rising import demand across both oil and non-oil categories.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, Presidential Advisor on Government's 24-Hour Economy Initiative, Guzi Tano, has urged players within the pension industry to position themselves to take advantage of investment opportunities expected to emerge under the government's flagship policy. Speaking at the 2026 Axis Pension Trust Strategy Conference, he encouraged pension fund managers and institutional investors to explore sectors that will benefit from the implementation of the 24-Hour Economy Initiative.
Every city of pension capital that finances domestic production, poultry, vegetables, cassava, generics, processed foods is a city that reduces import demand, supports the currency, and protects the real value of the benefits you will eventually pay out. You already have said that inflation is a big challenge for pension contributors when they retire. The way around it is to build a solid real economy where supply is available, there is demand, there's profit, there's margin, and there's income being distributed throughout the whole system. A pension portfolio invested in productive Ghanaian capacity is by construction hedging the currency and inflation risks of its own liabilities. That is not a benefit you get from holding multi-bills. What we are asking of the pension industry today is first, engage early.
Guzi Tano is Presidential Advisor on Government's 24-Hour Economy Initiative. Consolidated Bank Ghana is taking an aggressive step toward financial inclusion following the launch of its agency banking initiative christened Sika Agent. The initiative will allow customers to open accounts as well as make deposits and withdrawals through agents across the country. 168 agents have already been onboarded, with the bank targeting 8,000 agents by 2028. Customers have been assured that the agency banking system is foolproof against fraudsters. Here's Managing Director of CBG, Dr. Naomi Kweti, speaking at the launch.
To speak today, you can access 5 services. You can do your deposits, you can do your withdrawals, you can do interbank transfers, that is, move monies from your account to any other bank in the country, and you can also open a new account with us. The good thing for CBG, we are not the first. We have looked at the problems, we've looked at the gaps, and we have closed all. We can assure you that our platform is secure, is safe, and easy to use. If you heard our agents, they said it is so simple. That's what we bring. Ease. That's what we bring to the board.
That was Managing Director of Consolidated Bank Ghana, Naomi Kwete. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Biafe. I can see up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, Charlie, these days there are Azan everywhere. And GCB Bank is on the alert to protect your money. So be vigilant. I should share my OTP with you. How can you tell me this story? Masa, one-time PIN will be group work, so don't share. Azan, they say share your PIN for them to help you. Azan, unknown link, bia, no click so pa. Bebre Azan, free ATM help, say. My friend, look sharp. GCB Bank will never ask for your PIN, OTP, or Ghana card details. Don't fall victim. Think before you click or send anything. Azan Boys Day Street. So Deji, call 0800-422-422 free or WhatsApp 0202-422-422 when in doubt. Azan is brought to you by GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Charlie, dream I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day. Be like I can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real Flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
Electrical say you mean Nancy no ma ye wo every man for so fake na begum it's am on motor cables na ma scan check the cables no or your Nexus cable metal one low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ni bia so nya bia munto da e dia na ma wo use sa cables na ma ne dem sronko low smoke anti-counterfeit cables nhwemi chede say fake cables anya papa wire dan na se jeto ma opu wusu pi yi toxic no me je no so huwa ono pomko table to make na say use low smoke anti-counterfeit cable o major nshiwo wusu ka kribi no ba nti atrianchem bitu na agenda numa ehunwanyim low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ya etwa ehwo na hwa ebotuma scan na check there so your original free Nexus cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable ya sashe na ya jatu be there only Ghana cable okwa kwesi that
Nexus cable metal, electricity no get leg. The Nexus cable metal cable they carry ya.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, and this is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Tonight on Point Blank, we go to Parliament. The House resumed today after a 2-month break. As usual, as a tradition in the House, the leadership of the House will address members, welcome them, and also tell them the activities for the sitting. Deputy Minority Leader and the Member of Parliament for the Asokwa constituency, Madam Patricia J, addressed members of the Parliament at the opening of today's session. It will be followed by the Majority Leader, Mahama Yarega, who is also the Member of Parliament for the Boko Central constituency.
Parliament sits in the middle of the nation's life, and the life of this nation in the weeks just past has been a story of failure, scandal, and the deepening suffering of millions of Ghanaians who place their trust in a government that has not earned it. The minority does not take stock of the nation to score points. We do so because when the executive fails, Parliament must speak. When the government will not answer, this House must ask. And when power is abused, it is our duty to say so clearly and without apology. What we witnessed during recess was a government that drove our central bank deeper into historic losses, brought back the darkness of doomsday, and sent armed officers to arrest citizens for saying so. Disgraced Ghana before the African continent at a sports event it had 2 years to organize. Handed $1 billion national assets to the president's own brother through a process it cannot defend, and stood largely helpless as our citizens were attacked abroad. These are not opposition allegations. They are documented facts. This House deserves a full account of every one of them, and I have 10 matters to place before Parliament today. Mr. Speaker, days before we reconvene, our colleague, the Honourable Member for Asante-Achim North, was detained at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam in connection with allegations of financial crimes involving International Investigative Corporation. Parliament confirmed the incident on May 12 through a statement from the Clerk of Parliament. We understand that the government, Parliament, and our mission in The Hague are engaged in securing legal representation and consular support. We acknowledge those steps, but they are not sufficient. This arrest has inflicted deeply damaging blow to Ghana's international reputation. Our country's name has been dragged through European headlines in a manner that reflects poorly on this Parliament and this nation. The government must respond to this as what it is, a crisis with serious reputational consequences for Ghana. We call on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Speaker's Office to intensify engagement, deploy a senior diplomatic presence, brief this House regularly, and issue a formal statement on managing the international fallout. Silence and routine would not suffice. On innocence, until proven guilty, the minority is unequivocal. No court has made any findings against our colleague. We would not try him in the court of public opinion. And we call on all political actors and media to show the same restraint. Mr. Speaker, during recess, members and supporters of the MPP were arrested and detained for violence, not for financial crime, but for speech, for exercising the right to free expression that Article 21 of our Constitution guarantees to every Ghanaian. A party organizer was seized by masked, heavily armed CID and BNI officers for posting a Facebook image of the president with the caption, "Doomsday is back." That is what it took to bring the full apparatus of state security to a citizen's door. A lawyer following the case put it plainly, and I quote, "What makes the statement false? Anybody who says Doomsday is not back is living in a cuckoo land." our flag bearer described these events on May 13th as an endless assault on the fundamental rights of MPP officers and supporters that is setting Ghana's democracy backwards. He is right. Any government that deploys security forces against citizens for political opinion has lost its democratic bearing. Today, it is the MPP. Tomorrow, it could be anyone who dares to disagree. I call on the Inspector General of Police and the Director General of CID to immediately review all such cases and release every detainee held without solid legal justification. And I call on Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to fulfill his constitutional role and direct the security services accordingly. They serve the people of Ghana. They do not serve the ruling party. Mr. Speaker, those arrests were designed to suppress the very crisis they exposed. Doing so is back. It is back under a government that campaigned loudly on ending it. Communities across this country are once again enduring prolonged, unpredictable power cuts. Businesses are hemorrhaging money. Hospitals are under strain. Children are studying by candlelight in a country that generates its own electricity. The economic cost is estimated at $320 million per year in lost output alone. The Akosombo Power Control Center fire and the Greco's CEO suspension raised by the caucus in April were documented warning signs that were not addressed with the urgency they deserved. The result is that Ghanaians are again sitting in darkness. And this government answers was to arrest the people who said so. The result is that Ghanaians are again sitting in darkness. The Minister for Energy must appear before this House with a credible, costed, time-bound plan to end load sharing. Not a press release, a plan that this House can hold the government to. Mr. Speaker, on May 1st, the Bank of Ghana published its audited 2025 accounts. The numbers are alarming. The bank declared a net operating loss of 15.63 billion cedis and an additional loss of 19.3 billion cedis. Together, that is a staggering 34.9 billion cedis. This 34.9 billion cedis has moved the bank's negative equity position from 58.62 billion cedis to 93.82 billion cedis. That means Central Bank owes more than 93 billion cedis more than it owns. Even the 15.63 billion cedis headline conceals a worse reality. 9.6 billion cedis of the reported income came from selling Ghana's gold reserves. Remove that and the bank would have recorded a 4 billion operating deficit. This government sold 50% of Ghana's gold reserve before it could reduce the quantum of the original loss and achieve policy solvency. Meanwhile, the bank paid 14.61 billion cedis in interest to private commercial banks in 2025 alone. Banks that were posting record profits while our central bank hemorrhaged public money. During the year 2025, when the minority warned this government of its wearisome monetary policy measures, the majority dismissed them. We were told that the losses on gold trading were not significant enough to spark a national alarm. When we warned about the policy reversals causing huge losses on the sterilization program, they were initially denied, only for the BOG, Bank of Ghana accounts to show the true volume of the losses later. Mr. Speaker, 93.82 billion cedis in negative equity at the institution that issues our currency is not a footnote. It is a crisis. Restoring equity to the statutory minimum will cost approximately 9.1 billion over 6 years. That is money that could have been used to build schools, hospitals, and farms. The Finance and Economic Committees must convene an urgent joint hearing with the government present. The recapitalization plan must be published, and this House must be updated regularly on the recapitalization process and the instruments being used before any further harm is done to the bank. Mr. Speaker, contrary to government's PR that the IMF program has ended, the truth is that this government has only transitioned from ECF program that has ended and signed up for a new program known as PCI program. This is the mark of a country that the IMF believes still requires supervision. It remains to be seen whether this government will be able to sustain the results in the framework that was negotiated by previous MPP administration.
We continue to remain strong, serving as a beacon of hope and oasis of inspiration to others on the continent and beyond. Our democracy remains resilient and is growing stronger with the passage of each day. Our institutions continue to function effectively, albeit various challenges still persist. I am indeed confident that the hope and aspirations of our people, though tested, remains alive and fortified. Let me commend the Right Honourable Speaker and his deputies for their dedication and patriotism to the nation. The nation will always be in your debt for your selfless dedication in serving the motherland. I further acknowledge the efforts of leadership of the House and colleague members of Parliament. Though we were on recess, you were never on vacation. I monitored the work of MPs delivering in our various constituencies and at committees and various international events at which Ghana had to be represented. Some were mostly busy representing us at the activities of the regional ECOWAS and Pan-African parliaments. I believe your engagements in the constituencies, your various committee engagements with relevant stakeholders, and the exposure to international contemporary issues during this recess have better prepared you for the work ahead in this session. At this point, let me congratulate some of our colleagues who made us proud by being elected to key positions at the Pan-African Parliament during this recess. Honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajima-Rawlings, Her Excellency, was elected second Vice President, effectively the Deputy Speaker of the Pan-African Parliament. Honorable Frank Anodompre was elected Chair of the Health, Social Work and Labour Committee of the Western Caucus of the Pan-African Parliament. We wish you well in your new offices. We have no doubt that you will continue to showcase Ghanaian exceptionalism abroad. Right Honourable Speaker, we commence sitting at a profound moment of renewed hope and optimism in the country. Let me quote a post from Franklin Kujo of Imani, Ghana, about a week ago. Franklin Kujo writes, and please pay attention. Franklin Kujo writes, and I quote, the fastest economic recovery in Ghana's history has been recorded. He says, the fastest economic recovery in Ghana's history has been recorded and achieved by version 2.0 of the Mahama-led government. This, after the most regressive, self-immolating policies of waste, mismanagement, and plunder the country has ever seen. This is the verdict. This is a verdict of civil society on the NPP regime. Franklin Kujo further states, key achievement, exit from the IMF program with star-studded honors, rapid decline in inflation, a confident city, international reserves built back better, the quickest debt reduction from 65% to 45% of GDP in just 1 year. Buoyed by confidence, candor, and transparency, the government's finance team, competently led by Dr. Attah-Mensah, carefully choreographed how to work with the IMF program they inherited, even though it was badly bruised, broken, and moribund from excessive hemorrhage following the twin shocks of the domestic debt exchange program, which amounted to the literal pickpocketing of the savings and investments by previous administrations. Mr. Speaker, in essence, the final apocalyptic collapse of the economy we witnessed in 2022, with all macroeconomic indicators gasping for air, was entirely avoidable. So what has changed this time with the exit plan from the IMF? A commitment never to return to the IMF after 3.5 years, the period we have been cursed through maladministration to return to the fund since independence in 1957. Let me repeat a caution given by this very minority leader in this chamber, that when you are not satisfied with a decision of a lower court, you appeal and seek redress in a higher court. In this day and age, we must strive to be consistent because records are kept of whatever you have ever said. I want to assure the judiciary that we on this side of the house have their backs covered. Mr. Speaker, we must equally acknowledge that public confidence and trust in governance is increasingly being measured not by speeches, but rather by tangible improvements in the living conditions of the people we serve. To this end, Ghanaians expect accountability, transparency, and responsive leadership. They expect Parliament to rise above partisan divisions whenever the need arises and rally around the desire to improve their lives and livelihood. We cannot fail them in this endeavor, and the trust they repose in us must be the fuel that energizes us to do more for the country and its people. This is a sacred trust we must uphold and deliver to the benefit of the citizenry. Mr. Speaker, we are not oblivious to the remaining myriad economic problems confronting us. A half-decade accumulation of jobless youth, a recovering private sector and financial institutions, a huge infrastructure deficit. Parliament must work with the executive branch of government to build on the recent economic successes to address these challenges. In this regard, I will ask all committees overseeing the economic sectors to ensure that ministers account to us regarding the measures taken to ensure local content policies in the various economic sectors. Jobs for which Ghanaians have the skills and competencies cannot be occupied by non-Ghanaians. Also, committees should ensure that factories are producing at full capacity and the domestic market is protected through ending smuggling of goods into the economy. Committees overseeing the security and revenue mobilization sectors must sit up and ensure that smuggling is curtailed and proposals for tax reforms to help in that regard come before this House. We must ensure that pursuant to the ending of the IMF bailout program, we scrupulously scrutinize all appropriation proposals brought before us to ensure that public funds do not get wasted in unscrupulous consumption, but is invested in the productive sectors to create jobs and wealth for our unemployed youth. The last 1.5 years of economic management establishes the point that our economy does not lack. Our economy has only suffered from decades of inefficiency, waste, graft, and corruption. I can say with confidence, Mr. Speaker, that in the aftermath of our exit from the IMF program, the takeoff of the 24-hour economy will be accelerated to create the jobs we promised the youth of this country. The Minister of Finance will be in this House shortly to make a statement on the most recent economic developments, and this will give us an opportunity to debate the future direction of our country's economic governance. Government's quest to address the many challenges confronting the nation will see this meeting being packed with a number of businesses and activities. This is a working government, and looking at the agenda for this meeting, I can promise honorable colleagues that the House is going to get very busy as we have a number of public and private businesses to conduct. The following are the businesses that have been scheduled for the House to undertake during the meeting. 48 bills, including Cybersecurity Authority and Data Protection bills, 26 instruments to be presented, statements, motions, and as usual, presentation of papers and reports. More so, there will be a number of committee sittings to consider many referrals. There will also be a number of site visits and familiarization tours that will be undertaken by the various sector committees to ascertain the works that are being done by the various ministries, departments, and agencies across the country. Although most of these site visits and familiarization tours were undertaken during the recess, I envisage more to be undertaken during the meeting. All these activities help Parliament to undertake its legislative oversight, financial control, deliberative, and representational functions. I know that we will rise to the occasion and that this meeting is going to be productive and fruitful in service to the people and the nation as a whole. Mr. Speaker, the Black Stars of Ghana, which is the men's senior national team, is representing the nation at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which starts from 11 June to 19 July 2026. As most of us know, this is the first time that the World Cup is being hosted by 3 different countries, the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. And we'll see matches being played across 16 different cities. I will therefore take this opportunity to wish the Black Stars of Ghana all the best in their competitions. They have the full support of this honorable House, by extension the entire nation. We have hope and confidence in their ability to deliver, and we know they will make us proud once again. May they lift the flag of Ghana higher during the tournament. We have all been formally informed of the detention of our colleague, the honorable member for Asante Achim North, Kwame Ohene Frimpong, at the Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam by Dutch authorities acting on a request for extradition by the United States of America based on a federal court warrant regarding an indictment in the courts of the United States of America. I urge Ghanaians to be circumspect in their comments regarding this matter, as all accused persons are innocent until proven guilty. We must not do anything to compromise the legitimate defenses available to our colleague. At this juncture, I will admonish my honorable colleagues on the other side that no parliament can operate without cooperation and collaboration. We must therefore learn to work together, majority and minority alike, for national development, prosperity, and progress. May we never forget that beyond political parties, beyond ideology, and beyond electoral competition, we remain one people with one destiny. History will judge this night parliament not by the volume of our arguments, but by the quality of our contribution to national progress. Let me conclude by indicating to the Deputy Minority Leader that all the issues she has raised are legitimate matters for consideration by this House. I believe that this country is on the right path promoting local ownership of the key sectors of our economy. The Diamond Mine Agreement will definitely be brought to this House, and every aspect of it will be open to public scrutiny. And I can assure you, and the former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources is here, I can assure you that you will see clearly that everything was above board. I urge all MPs to be punctual and attend sittings on time so that we can achieve the legislative program of this session.
You are the majority leader in Ghana's parliament and the member of parliament for the Boko Central constituency, Mahama Ayarega. Earlier, you heard deputy minority leader and member of parliament for the Asokwa constituency, Madam Patricia Ejay. Leaders addressing parliament as the house resumed today. And that's how I wrap up today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier, you heard Ejubi Wiafe Akenton. Show produced by Beverly London, Kwabna Wilson, Fred Tete Jabano, and Juliana Odami. With technical assistance from Emmanuel Latte, as well as Daniel Kwashi. So we'll come your way again tomorrow. May the good Lord be with us all.